Master Yinguang Menqing's reply to the Dharma question of 1, 2, 3, and 4, Part 1. Every Dharma between heaven and earth is indeed the manifestation of one thought. This is how Dharma originally is. It is what it is. For instance, the applause has movement, form, expression, and all things in the universe are true existence. We call this 3. The applause is directed by the conscious mind, which we call 2. Are 2 and 3 there when they are not present? They are. If they were not, how could they be remembered? Even if you are conscious of them, how do your hands clap? Although they are there, no trace can be seen. Although there is no trace, they are there. We call this 1. Where is this 1? It is there, and it is not there. If you say it is there, where is it? You can't see or touch it. If you say it is not there, but it truly exists, hence 1 is everywhere, yet nowhere. Since 1 is formless, can you tell which 1 is your 1 and which 1 is my 1? It can't be divided. Although you can't distinguish your 1 from his 1, you can't deny your 1 and his. And we call 1 truth in expedient means. Since 2 and 3 are manifested by 1, we call them false in skillful means. The 3 of the 10,000 Dhammas of heaven and earth is, therefore, transformed from the 2 of 10,000 thoughts, while the 3 and 2 are manifested through this 1. When speaking of transformation, there are infinite phases of mind and form for 2 and 3. That is, indiscrimination doesn't hinder discrimination. When speaking of manifestation, the infinite forms of 2 and 3 have to be attributed to the only true nature of 1. That is, discrimination doesn't hinder indiscrimination. Thus, the so-called Dharma gate of non-duality. The shared teaching, being attached to the nature and ignorant of the form, is the 1 Dharma gate. The Tripitaka teaching, clinging to the form without knowing the nature, is the 2 Dharma gate. The distinctive teaching, clinging to both the form and the nature, is the 1 and 2 Dharma gate. The perfect teaching, being neither the form nor the nature, yet both the form and the nature, is the Dharma gate of non-duality. A proper understanding of the meaning of 1, 2, 3. The Dharma gate of non-duality is what we call 4. Hence, the expression 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's compare these with Thus have I heard, Amitabha, and virtues of 6 bodies as follows. Thus, or A in Amitabha is 1, the virtue of Dhamma body. Have or me in Amitabha is 2, the virtue of reward body. I or ta is 3, the virtue of form body, the virtue of transformation body. Thus have I, or Amita, is 1, 2, 3, the virtue of proper body. Heard, or ba, is 4, the virtue of enlightened body, the virtue of transformation body. Thus have I heard, or Amitabha, is 1, 2, 3, and 4, the virtue of golden body, the virtue of transformation body. If a person believes in this truth, without practice or certification, he will be liberated from the cycle of life and death, and will become the Buddha yet to achieve perfection. You will be liberated as you wish, even if you don't want to be. You have no choice but to be liberated. If you want to know why you can be liberated in the moment without practice and certification, please wait for our following discussion. Master Yinguang, which Buddha in which sutra ever mentions your expressions 1, 2, 3, and 4? Neither the Buddhas nor any sutras ever mention this. Does it matter? Of course it does. A sentence spoken out of the sutra is the same as the devil said. Well, which Buddha's words or sutra do these 2 sentences of yours come from? From neither the Buddha nor any sutra can we find your remarks. So they are from the devil, aren't they? Well, still, I don't think it is right to leave any of the Buddha or sutra to assert anything. Speaking of this, the Buddha actually did say something about it. What does it mean? The Buddha expounds Dhamma teachings in different ways, such as the Buddha originally said, first said, then said himself, quoted others, said properly, said ironically, said directly, said indirectly, said using an allegory, Dhamma, a metaphor, and also those expressed secretly, profoundly, and accordingly, etc. Based on what the Buddha said with metaphors and according to, I put forward the expression 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does it have to be the same as what the Buddha said originally, what the Buddha said himself? If it has to be what Buddha had said, why do we need Dhamma teachers? We only need someone who can read, recite, translate, copy, write, print, and engrave. That's all. If it has to be what Buddha had said, then is it necessary that what the Buddha said, saying now, and is about to say, should be changed into what was said once can't be spoken now? what is being said now shouldn't be spoken, and what should be said should never be mentioned. I still think that what the Buddha had not said and what is not in the sutras cannot be said. You? What else do you have besides what you think? Aren't you the same? Besides what I think, I still have the view of the Buddha and the common view. What do you mean? In heaven and the earth, past and present, at home and abroad, there is no such you think from a Buddha, a saint, a person, a sutra, a book, a text, and a chapter. You are the only one who can think of nothing but you think. If what you think had prevailed, mankind would still have been in the age of knotting cords to record events or the Pangu era. Actually, have you ever found a person, or yourself, for instance, in your lifetime, who says everything from what Buddha had said and quotes every word from sutras, like what you think? Why didn't you reply? Based on deep consideration,印广 understands that it is not about who said, the Buddha, the saint, the devil, or the ghost. It is all about what has been said. This is what the Buddha said, the so-called 4 reliances. In accordance with Dhamma instead of a man, in accordance with the ultimate Dhamma instead of incomplete one, in accordance with the meaning instead of words, and in accordance with wisdom instead of the conscious mind. Nowadays, with corruption in Buddhism and evil practice blocking the proper path, people follow whatever suits them despite the speaker, yet insult, slander, and even frame whoever is against them regardless of what has been said. As you do, it's much better to question politely, and I greatly appreciate your manners and courtesy.